Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Maestro. And this movie is directed by Bradley Cooper and is also starring him. And this is a Netflix movie, and it's also nominated for Best Picture and some other awards for the Oscars. And I thought this movie was very bad and boring and just all over the place. I don't necessarily have a place to start other than just the order of when my notes were taking place. Like, at the beginning of the movie, we see, like, an old guy, and I wasn't sure who was playing him until, like, we progressed through the film later on from that point. And it's just an old guy playing a piano, and I wasn't sure if it was Bradley Cooper or not, but it was. And the makeup and, like, the look of the character I thought was handled well, but the physical performance didn't really sell it to me, and that was issue number one. And much to my surprise, that was the best scene in the movie. How that happened, I have no idea. I would have never have guessed that the scene that I wasn't big on was the best scene in the movie. And we are about 5 minutes into the movie, and from then on, it cuts to like earlier in his life, and the film is in black and white and also 4:3, has a 4:3 aspect ratio. And I'm not really sure why it's in black and white or 4:3 and also 4:3. I mean, it's also in 4:3 for most of the movie. So I'm guessing that it's just that way because it's taking place in the past before like certain things in this character's life is being mentioned. And I know it's based off of a real person, but to be honest, I watched the movie, I paid attention to it as best as I could, and I've learned literally nothing about this person's life or what they achieved or what any of these things that they accomplished in their life means to them. It's all just all over the place. And what's worse is that you never get a good sense of what time the film is taking place. It's in black and white, but it never gives you a date or like sometime in the 40s or 30s or whatever. Like, I'm guessing that it's in the 40s when it's in black and white, because I don't see like people just like struggling from the Great Depression or anything like that, or World War II. That's not even mentioned in the film. And I was just guessing maybe it's the 40s. I have no idea. Possibly early 50s. So who knows? The film never told us. And then eventually the film goes from black and white to color again. And it doesn't give us a date. It just says, it just shows us in the film in color. And yeah, no idea when it's taking place, because that is something that feels integral to any other story. But in this movie, it just doesn't seem to care, because I have no idea how much time has passed. I have no idea what our main character has accomplished in their life between this big time gap when it's taking place in color when we first get to color, from black and white to color. Is it taking place in the 60s, possibly the 70s? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's taking place in the 70s at one point in the film, because of technology and people's hairstyles and like stuff like that. I'm guessing that's when it's taking place at a certain point in the movie. Maybe. I don't know. Like, it's impossible to know. Like, you couldn't even do that. And you're probably expecting this movie to have lots of music. And there is a lot of music in the movie, but I don't feel as though any of it was used properly. Like, it doesn't earn any of the emotions that it's going for. It's just in the background for no reason other than to just help with the pacing, probably. And early on in the film, the pacing was kind of all over the place. Like, at one point it was kind of fast, and then it went kind of slow. And I was like, okay, is this going to be the entire film? Because that is kind of a red flag for me, but that wasn't the case. Instead, the entire film was really, really slow for no reason. And also, characters are basically just talking about nothing for like the entirety of the film. And It's not like the dialogue's good either, so that's another thing that this movie has to get past. Nothing interesting being spoken. The characters don't matter. The film doesn't even develop the characters, and they're just human beings being portrayed by actors, and the performances aren't really great. Bradley Cooper, I didn't really buy him in the role. I know that there's a controversy with his character's nose being a little too big, and out of anything that I could critique about his performance or character, that's like one of the weaker things that I could criticize. It was like, yeah, you basically changed that for no reason. And also, his accent was going all over the place. Sometimes he was just doing his own thing, or like at some points it sounded like he was trying to imitate Daniel Day-Lewis. It was really weird. And the movie also did a very poor job at establishing characters and what their purpose in the story is, because there's literally no story. There is no plot to this film whatsoever. And like it's supposed to be based on this guy's life, but you don't really get an understanding of what he did in his life. So if you take that out, what do you have? Nothing. Literally nothing, and just nothing happens throughout most of it. And also, nothing really makes any sense. There's a point where, when it's black and white, and I'm guessing that it's the 40s or possibly 50s, we see two men kiss in public, and I was like, this is taking place in what I'm assuming a big city, or like New York or something. And two men are just going to kiss in public, and everyone's fine with that. Nobody cares. Okay. That was weird and never addressed, and we never get a good understanding of what's going on inside our main character's head. And to top it all off, this movie was just painfully boring, because basically nothing happened throughout the entirety of it, and the only entertaining parts of this movie when it was so bad that it was funny. And I couldn't even tell you what those parts were, because they were so few, and I've forgotten about like 99% of this movie already. So, very forgettable movie. Doesn't really have anything good in it. There are movies that I've seen that are worse than this. I'll say that much, even though that isn't really saying all that much. But kind of baffling and confusing as to why this movie is nominated for Best Picture. If it wins, I'll be very mad, and apparently a lot of people have tried to watch this movie and have seen this movie, and from what I've heard, people don't seem to like it, so that's also weird that it's nominated for Best Picture. So skip this movie. It's not worth your time. It's very boring, and a film that has literally no substance. If you want a movie that's like this, that is a lot better, then watch Tar from 2022. Much better. It's what this movie... It's basically everything that this movie could have been, but it's just in that movie. Like, that's the movie to watch if you want something that this movie was maybe going for. Possibly, I have no idea. Just watch Tar. That movie's awesome. But Maestro... skip it. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Maestro a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of Maestro, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Fame. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.